I understand what you're saying. No.
There it is.
Let's hear it.
Well, let's hear it.
Talk to us. Uh-oh.
Beadle and Decker, taking on sports talk like no one else. Michelle Beadle,
I'm just helping. I'm helping America one by one.
Cody Decker.
I 100% believe in revenge. Revenge is a great thing.
Back to the sports.
Back and ready for more.
Every time I tune them out, they pull me back in.
It's Beadle and Decker. Here's Michelle and Cody.
Hello, everybody. It is Friday, a fantastic Friday, a fun Friday, a Friday we should all really look forward to having because we have, that's right, real baseball. Actual baseball is actually being played right now in America, in the world, in your life. And man, oh man, day one. If you want to call it day one. Of course, we had opening night the other night, but we're going to get into it and so much more. And I got to make this abundantly clear. The chat's already alive. How you guys doing? Listen, it's Beadle and Decker. No Michelle Beadle today. She will be back on Monday. And by the way, we will have an earlier time on Monday. I believe we might be doing the show at 9 a.m. Pacific. So we will keep you posted on that. Of course, stay tuned to our social medias at Beadle and Decker. But when it's Friday, you just got to pull in the big guns. I don't know what to tell you. Do any of you know people who have been named, I don't know, like broadcaster of the year in their state? How about twice? No, really short list. I know. How about three times? Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Robert Brown. How you doing, Rob Brown?
Buddy, it's opening day, part 2, volume 3. I don't know where we are, what's happening anymore. I'm just glad to know that there's baseball. I am sitting here going through the emotions deck of, on one hand, being very excited that my Atlanta Braves are back on television tonight, and on the other hand, trying to mentally prepare myself to accept that we have kicked ourselves in our own genitalia the entire offseason, and I should have zero expectations, which is like the worst feeling in the world.
Just punting yourselves in the balls over and over and over again. What has happened to you? Like, I want to start by talking about baseball, but you're already miserable about your Braves. I can already see you're miserable about your Braves, which is amazing because it's literally day 2. And yes, we will get into all of Major League Baseball's opening day, but why not just get into the old ATL, your Atlanta Braves? You're starting the season without Strider available. You don't really know what your team is anymore, even though everybody's locked up for roughly a decade and a half. And you do need some more pitching, and I think Lucas Giolito's just like sitting right over there. You could have signed him at any given moment. You could sign him right now.
I got a call from an unlisted Atlanta number the other day. I answered it. It was Anthopoulos asking me if I was good for 2-3 months off the bump because that's how desperate they are right now. It's bad, dude. Like, and it's not just Spencer Strider, it's Hurston Waldrop, it's AJ Smith-Shawver, it's Joey Wentz, who went down the day before the season started. It's Spencer Schwellenbach, it's Joe Jimenez. Like, we have, I think last I checked, 3 of what should have been our opening day 5-man rotation are on the IL right now. Like, it's just it's not ideal. And the frustrating part was we came into this offseason deck with Atlanta knowing they had to go get arms. Like, it wasn't an option. We knew they had to get arms. And Anthopoulos said going into the offseason, and I had no issue with it. He said, look, we're not going to force it, right? Like, we want to get somebody that fits us. We want to get somebody that can pitch well at our park, that fits in. And I was good with that. In fucking October of last year, I was good with that. But it is now March, almost April of this year. And like, yeah, no, kind of we have to be aggressive. Deck, you and I were on the air together. Our first year of Saturdays was 2021, the year that Atlanta won their last World Series. And It was funny because at that point, at the end of that season, we were ready to hand Alex Anthopoulos. We were ready to pull a Donald Trump and make up an award to give him because we felt that he deserved it. We were going to give him best GM of any sport ever at all time at that moment.
It was pretty amazing. You like locked up each and every one of these young stars that just won you a world. Like, even I was going like, this man's a genius.
Yeah.
Build him a statue.
You add on top of that, bringing in the guys like Jock Peterson, who you were like, why Jock Peterson? Then he comes in and he's a masher for that year. And it was like the moves, honestly, it was the trade deadline acquisitions of Alex Anthopoulos that won the Braves that World Series back in 2021. And now here we are sitting in 2026. And it doesn't, like, it blows my mind that you and I were on a mic 5 years ago having that discussion. And here we are now. And it's like, yeah, but that was 5 years ago, brother. Like, it was 5 years ago, and we haven't really hit the move since. And I get it. You're right. And we talk about these young guys. But here's the thing about some of these young guys, Deck. We were talking about Austin Riley 5 years ago. We were talking about Ronald Acuna Jr. 5 years ago. We were talking about Money Michael Harris 5 years. They're not young guys anymore. These are guys that have been on the team for 3, 4, 5, 6 years at this point. And granted, they're still in their 20s, so they're not old. But let's not talk about how Atlanta's assembled the greatest staff of rookies of all time and, like, what a blazing bright future. No, it's a bunch of established veterans at this point, guys you should be able to trust. And like 3 or 4 injuries derails the whole thing, and you didn't respond to them. Like, it's this weird swing from 5 years ago. I was ready to ask Alex Anthopoulos if he would also be the GM of the Saints and the Pelicans, so I might be able to enjoy football and basketball again. And now I'm like, guy, I saw that we needed a starting pitcher, and I watched a hell of a lot of them move around this offseason, and you're telling me the one spot they didn't land was Atlanta, who may, Deck, and you tell me if I'm going too off the deep end here.
Let's hear it.
The Atlanta Braves might have one of the top 3 or 4 offenses on paper in Major League Baseball, and they're going to have to go win games like 9-8, 8-7 every game if they want a chance to survive long enough just to be a wild card team.
Let me really check that, because, like, I hear what you're saying. Let's see. You got Ronald Acuna Jr. We obviously know what Ronald Acuna Jr. is if he's healthy, provided he is healthy. You know he's a monster. Mike Yastrzemski, solid ball player. Matt Olson, yes, but which Matt Olson is my question. Ozzie Albies, obviously phenomenal. Austin Riley, dude. Listen, there was a time where we were talking about Austin Riley being like a perennial MVP candidate, and he really just fell off hard after that one monster year. You're not wrong, man. The team has got on paper guys that have shown they can do it. But it, was a guy that you and I were big fans of, that we were positive that could do it, that just fell off a cliff. Tim Anderson, man. Like, it was like players just sometimes fall off or get figured out, or it's a combination of, like, you don't know what they're going on in their private lives, and maybe guys have figured them out, or maybe guys are more injured than you think. It's just, there is so many different factors here that we simply are not aware of.
Oh, listen, I've done the baseballing before. I got all that. You're not wrong, right? Like, you're right about Austin Riley. I mean, Matt Olson, only 30 home runs and 95 RBIs last year out of Matt Olson. Like, that was his down year. His down year is 30 doms.
And if that's your down year,
RBIs.
What a hell of a down year.
Yeah, down year, right? The point is, even with Ozuna moving on, you found your way into Drake Baldwin, who I got to tell you right now, there's a part of me that wants to put a Drake Baldwin NL MVP bet down. Do I think he's going to win it? Probably not. But I'm telling you right now, I think by the end of this year, Deck, you're going to agree with me that Drake Baldwin might be one of the best catchers, maybe the best catcher in Major League Baseball. I think he's going to be in that. I'm not saying he's going to get it. I'm saying he's going to be in that conversation. The point is, the talent is there, in my opinion. The talent is there to compete, and I'll try to set the bar at what I think is a fair spot, and you tell me if it is or isn't, Deck. There's no reason the Atlanta Braves shouldn't at least compete with the Philadelphia Phillies for the NL East. Is that fair? Like, I don't think that's unfair, except for we didn't get the arms race going. We didn't compete. Now, if Strider comes back and he can get that velo back up to where it was before he had the first surgery, right? The oblique injury that's got him on the IL is actually on his non-throwing side. Now, granted, that can still mess with you mechanics-wise still, right? Like, if that oblique's acting up and all of a sudden when you're ready to come out of the slot, you're used to having your guide arm here and you can't get it there, like, it can mess you up a little bit, but at least it's a non-throwing arm or throwing side injury. So let's say he comes back. Let's see Hurston Waldrop, who I really like coming out of Florida. If he's able to be the guy we thought he was going to be, if all these guys come back and healthy and the Braves just stay alive until the halfway point, then they should be able to compete with Philly, at least for the division. Not with the Dodgers. I'm not talking about get ready for the NL. I'm saying stay alive. The problem is, again, they're going to have to go have a run differential of +1, but also the highest run total of the first half in order to get there. And I'm not optimistic that that's reality.
You know what I love? That you went into that thing and only saw the Phillies. Are you really not scared of the Mets? Because you should be at least pretty scared of the Mets.
I have the internet, Decker, and Mets gonna Met has been a war cry of the NL East for a very long time. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not, because they dropped their starting lineup yesterday, and I was like, shit, that kind of looks a little scary, if we're being honest. Like,
yeah. Kind of.
But even if let's say we get the best version of the Mets, and let's say the Mets finally live up to being what the Mets are supposed to do. I still think that division should be a 3-horse race between Philly, New York, and Atlanta. I just don't know that the Bravos are going to have the arms to be able to keep them in that race for long enough.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I think the Mets are going to be pretty damn good this year, because I think their offense is pretty good. And listen, whether you agree with Jeets of what the Braves can compete in the ACC right now or not is really up to you. I think the Mets are the third best team in that division. And by the way, the Marlins really aren't that bad either, even though they're spending roughly $30 on their entire team at the moment. But I'm just saying the East is just better, except for the Washington Nationals, who are just unfortunately there. But let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about the Mets yesterday, because here's the deal. Paul Skeens didn't get out of the first inning of opening day. We were talking about it live. I was happening on the show. But here's the deal, man. There is a conversation that's being started right now, and it's kind of reverting back over to the WBC. And I want to ask you this question, and if it's something you've noticed, because a lot of people are making the war cry that all these pitchers that pitched in the WBC just went out and had a real bad time in their first outings, and thinking it could maybe harm their pitchers to start the seasons. And listen, as much as I honestly am a guy that played in the WBC and a guy that's like loved the WBC, and honestly now I thoroughly don't think it should be changed to a different time of the year. I don't think it should be in the summer now. I honestly think this is exactly when it should be. There is numbers to kind of validate everybody's complaints, because I just want you to hear this over right now. Several high-profile 2026 World Baseball Class pitchers struggled in their Major League Baseball opening day starts, such as the following names: Logan Webb, Paul Skeens, Matthew Boyd. They had a collective on the day, on opening day, 16.39 ERA. And that's only being generous, because 2/3 of an inning for Paul Skeens. He's got a 67.50 ERA to start the year. Logan Webb experienced a rough outing on opening day. He got hit up a little bit. And then 2 1/3 innings out of Matthew Boyd on opening day. So my question for you is simply this. Do you think this gives validity in everybody saying we should move the WBC into the summer as opposed to spring training?
I mean, the only thought I have is, Deck, if we move it into the summer and we see these numbers, I don't think we have MLB players in it anymore. Even if they make it a break, right? Like, even if they're like, no all-star break this year, every 3 years, no all-star break, we're going to do the WBC. I got to tell you 2 things. Number one, if I'm a player, I've got the balance of, I want to rep my country. I want to go play for the Stars and Stripes, or Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Cuba, whatever. But I got 1 week. And I also want to, take my wife to the Turks and Caicos, right? It's a tough balance. B, if I am a manager, or if I'm a general manager, do I want to say, I want you to go play baseball, but I want you to go play it in a different system, in a different ballpark, potentially in a different rhythm and routine? No, I'm taking a stab at it, Deck, but I would say you would know this as well as anybody. The best athletes in the world are ordinarily the ones that have a locked-in routine that they do not break away from. I think you can talk about at the end of the winter, right? Let's if anything, I would say let's move it up 3 weeks. Don't move it back. Move it up 3 weeks. Let's play that thing in late January, early February. And I know that that's going to eliminate some places from being host, but like, brother, I've been to Miami in January. It's still real nice down there. Just play them all in Miami, play them in Houston, play them in Dallas, play them. Hell, let's let the final be somewhere in the warm weather. Move it up 3 weeks so that they're even less afraid of rhythm and routine. That way a guy like a Skeens or whoever can go play in the WBC, can come back to Pittsburgh, and still have over a month to get his MLB routine back on before opening day. Like, I can't understand how anybody thinks you move it to the summer and it gets better. It's not going to. In fact, you're going to have half the guys drop out.
I'm with you.
Move it up into late January, early February. Let's play that thing in the winter. It'll give us something to enjoy besides the NBA at that point, and these guys enough time that they go, I can play that, then I can go home. I can jump back into spring or into the early spring training. I can get my rhythm and routine going before, like well before opening day. I don't understand a single person who says we should move it back. Why?
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's actually perfect. And I'm just looking at it. Forget the numbers on opening day. Listen, is this an outlier day? Yeah. Is Paul Skeens going to get out of the first inning in his next start? Yeah, I think he'll be fine. It was a weird ass day. And by the way, we're all looking at Paul Skeens like it was all his fault. I believe O'Neal Cruz had a say in this a little bit. Sun's shining directly into center field. The guy's not even wearing sunglasses. Misplays a ball over his head that should have been out number 2, and then misplays a pop-up, which should have been out number 3. I mean, I don't know what to tell you other than Paul Skeens should have been out of the inning, giving up 1 run and only 26 pitches instead. He gives up the farm and he's got a 67 ERA. What are you going to do? But I'm also looking at this as a practical matter. Like, as a consumer right now, how awesome has this last couple of months been as a sports fan? We went straight into a pretty hectic Olympics, directly into the World Baseball Classic, directly into the March Madness, directly into opening day. We have been spoiled as sports fans as of late, and I don't think we're realizing just how perfect this all was, because WBC ended on literally St. Patty's Day, which is a great idea. People are out at bars, and guess what's playing on the TV? The final of the WBC. Great idea. And it didn't overlap with March Madness, and the Olympics didn't overlap with the WBC. Everything kind of worked perfectly. But listen, dude, I also want to bring this up. This is also something I want to mention about baseball being so back. I was at a bar last night. I was at O'Brien's, my favorite watering hole here in Santa Monica, California. It's even in our opening package right here. And it's in the opening package of the regulars, which you check out on Mondays and Fridays with me and my other co-host, Tanya Ray Fox. Check it out. I want to tell you this, dude. Baseball is really back, because I was at that bar and guess what I was watching? And everyone was watching. Opening night, Dodgers versus Diamondbacks. The TVs were playing it. The sound system was playing it. And by the way, there were 2 Sweet 16 games on that was only relegated to 2 televisions, while the other 15 played the Dodgers. And that bar was not quiet, dude. I was digging this in LA last night.
The WBC final. Actually, I want to do this, Deck, and I apologize. I want to step out of the way here for a second. It's not step out of the way. I have breaking news. I have a dear friend of mine who was informing me Tiger Woods has just been involved in a rollover crash on Jupiter Island down in Florida. We had a spot where Tiger Woods played in the TGL final not too long ago, and there was rumor, there was discussion that Tiger Woods may try to tee it up in the Masters one more time this year. But I'm getting told by a friend of mine who lives down in Central Florida that just after 2 p.m. today, Tiger Woods was involved in a rollover crash near 281 Beach Road on Jupiter Island. I don't have any details as far as any injuries or any possibilities or whatever. But what an interesting turn of events. We were wondering if this dude was going to give it one more run at Augusta, and that's why he was warming up at the TGL final. And now reports that he was involved in an overturned vehicle accident in Jupiter, Florida. So sorry, I didn't mean to take away from where we were. That felt like news.
No, that is absolutely huge news. Here's the reason why it's huge news. I mean, because he was already going to be in our rundown today. Not going to be. He's in our rundown today because there is word that he is not going to be playing in it. But it's who is breaking the news that we want to talk about. But for this particular thing, this is much more important news. We will stay abreast of the situation. Anything we see, we'll keep you live and informed about it. But man, that's devastating. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, just I obviously have no idea what's taking place. Other than I hope he's safe.
Yeah, I've got that's all the information we've got right now. I've got a buddy of mine down there who is in a position of power that he would know about this. He's trying to get me some more details about it, but all we know right now is that right after 10 o'clock, there was a rollover crash. It wasn't a big major interstate. It was just a beach road in a community. No further information on that right now. We'll keep an eye on that. But again, it's interesting because on one hand, like there was the discussion leading up to the TGL. Of course, the Masters coming up here in just a tick over 2 weeks, whatever it is. And there was discussion that Tiger had been seen playing a lot more golf. He had been getting more rounds in. Again, he showed up and he almost, I think, to the surprise of most people, played in the TGL, which I thoroughly enjoy the TGL. It's not necessarily it's not topping a bunch of other stuff I would watch live, but I do enjoy it for what it is. So for me, as a guy who grew up in prime Tiger time, like it was cool to see that guy back out there. I think that there's a very short list of athletes, Deck, inside of a very small number of sports that I think earn the right to decide when they want to walk away and not the other way around. Like I don't think, and this is, I don't know if it's a hot take or not. Team sports, NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, whatever. In any team sport, I don't think anyone is so big that they deserve the right to walk away when they want to walk away. It's like, dude, you walk away when you're not helping the team anymore. And it doesn't matter if you're 50 or the third year in the game. If you can't help the team, you got to go. In an individual sport like a golf or a tennis, I don't have a problem with guys or gals sticking around as long as they want to stick around, provided they can accept the results and the reality of where they are as a competitor. So I was fine with, and in fact, again, as a guy who kind of came into golf when Tiger was really starting to take over the scene, I was a little excited to see Tiger out at Augusta if he decided to go. Now, I don't know if this was the announcement that was made, and I know we want to talk about it. I don't really trust the guy who said it to not be just saying stuff for the sake of getting attention. We'll talk about that. B, if that was a private conversation that went public, or C, if that was a result of this, right? Like if that came across after this had happened and the news had already gotten out there and somebody couldn't keep their big trap shut. I don't know what the reality of that situation is. What I do know is if this is a spot that Tiger can't walk away, but a car accident made him walk away from golf, that's going to be that's going to be disappointing. I mean, nothing you can do about it, but it will be disappointing.
Okay, real quick, we do have a mild update. It's not much of one update, and I'm not sure if you gave this exact thing. It was a 2-car crash. One vehicle was a rollover. One person is stable, while another refused to go to the hospital. MCFR said there are no injuries to anyone. Authorities said no further details will be provided until the time of 5 p.m. when the sheriff, John Budenseek, is expected to be available for media sound. So we will be on the lookout for that if that happens coming up soon. And of course, Rob Brown's wonderful inside source. Let's just get into that real quick right now, because this is actually something that is in the rundown. Donald Trump went on to, I believe, the 5 and then talked about how he was going to go to Augusta or wants to watch Augusta. And who does he have? And he's like, well, I love my good friend Tiger Woods, but he's not going to be playing. He's going to be, and then basically announcing that Tiger Woods isn't playing. Now, of course, there is speculation, as you said, of Tiger Woods playing, but there is also a lot of doubt on whether or not Tiger Woods is going to be playing at this Augusta. So what do you think? The guy that said it, a believable source, considering the fact that he's so believable on everything else?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I am not under any false pretenses here. Like, I know Tiger has been in Trump's camp, or if not in his camp, it seems like every time there's any sort of round table or commission on sports, Tiger Woods has been a part of it. He runs in that circle, whatever his prerogative, not a big fan personally. I do know that the commander-in-chief does love him some reality TV. And I do know he loves to be the one that makes announcement and drops news and says things into a microphone specifically for the purpose of getting himself more TV time, more quotes in newspapers, whatever. I mean, I don't know, right? Like if it turns out that Tiger said something to the president and the president took his own initiative to announce that, then yeah, bad on him. But at the same time, if you're Tiger Woods, you got to know. You got to know if you tell that guy anything, it's going to get out there if he can get attention off of it. So I don't know, Deck. I don't really have any strong feelings about it. If Tiger was asked to keep it confident and he didn't, shame on him for not upholding a secret of somebody who's had his back. If he said, I don't really care if you say it, then what? I don't know what to make of it, man. I think it's pretty obvious. I personally not a fan of Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form. At the same time, I don't know what the relationship is between him and Tiger Woods that led to him saying that.
Completely agreed. I don't know what to make of any of it. I just want to watch the Masters in peace.
Yep.
And that's all. The Masters is just something I really, really, really enjoy. And I just want to enjoy it in peace. In just staggering peace. So it's a peaceful enjoyment.
I had this conversation with a buddy of mine because we had the Ryder Cup last year and the President's Cup, the Ryder Cup. I love those events. And I've even gone so far as to say, and this has been taken as a hot take by my friends. I love Augusta National. I've got a t-shirt in there, or excuse me, a polo shirt. I had a friend buy me back. I've got the Augusta hat. I've got the gear. I throw a Masters party every year at my house. I love the Masters. It is a great event. However, I actually really enjoy the President's Cup and the Ryder Cup more than I enjoy the Masters. I do, because it's always played at a very no prestigious course is as prestigious as Augusta National. I'm not arguing with that, but like, let's not pretend that playing it at Bethpage Black or Whistling Straits or like these are Pebble Beach. These are all great courses too, and the competition element of countries versus the United States or whatever, and the fact that I have a team to root for. When I watched golf, I got a bunch of guys I root for, bunch of golfers I like. Rory McIlroy, been rooting for Rory McIlroy for a very long time. But when I watch the Ryder Cup, the President's Cup, it's Team USA. I have a team that I can root for. So I love those two events, and I have every year. When I started seeing the president show up at the Ryder Cup, I'm like, please don't do this at Augusta, because it feels to me like the Masters is such a special, almost sacred event on the landscape. I do not want it sullied by anything. And I'm not just talking about the president. I'm talking about politicians, actors, musicians. I watched the opening night, and I know we'll talk about this. I watched the opening night presentation on Netflix, and I thought it was so Hollywood gimmicky, Deck. And I don't mind a little spectacle. All right, I'm larger than life than obnoxious. I like a little spectacle. But with the Burt Kreischer thing, I'm a wrestling fan. But with the Jey Uso thing, with the commercials, with all of that, it felt like it did so much. It's like you wanted me to watch everything but baseball that night, right? And it's like it's the first game. The Masters with you get 2 minutes of commercials on Sunday and Saturday, whatever. I would very much like for that golf tournament to be maybe, Deck, the last sporting event where it genuinely feels like the prestige and the aura of the tournament exists, and there's not a bunch of jackasses in suits trying to strangle every last penny and dime out of that product, right? Like, let it be the Masters. Keep everything else away from it, because if the Masters ever starts to feel like opening night on Netflix did, we will have nothing left that is sacred in the world of sports. I believe that.
Listen, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Netflix thing, but I also wasn't sitting around going like, oh man, it's the worst thing that ever happened. I kind of knew what it was going to be going in. Was the 8th inning with Jey Uso and Jameis Winston a winner? No, that was a train wreck among train wrecks. But like, listen, other things were fine-ish. But on the flip side, dude, the NBC game was like completely and utterly like exactly what all the people bitching about Netflix. Congratulations, guys. We got prestige and we got nostalgia over here. Look, kids, Bob Costas. Like, you got all of the old shit back. Like, there you go. And by the way, really liked it. Jason Benetti, fantastic on the call.
No, I agree. And I do want to make it very clear, Deck. Like, I didn't turn off Yankees Giants on Netflix. I didn't stop watching it. I didn't say I'm walking away from it. But at the same time, I'm like, you have MLB game number 1. We have been watching spring training baseball. We have been watching the WBC. It's all been electric. But like, this is the first game that matters. This game counts in the standings. If the Yankees or the Giants lose their division by half a game, the loser of that game, we can bounce it all the way back to this. And so the whole thought I had was, it felt like, hey, we're going to advertise Netflix to you for 2.5 hours. And Aaron Judge and Logan Webb are going to be in the background, right? It felt like the baseball was almost getting in the way of their advertising time. Whereas to me, I don't get why commissioners and TV and network execs don't realize, if you will just put the advertising where it fits in baseball, we will appreciate it so very much more. But when you've got hologram ads that make the batter look like he's been CGI'd onto the screen, you have now drawn me out of the immersion of baseball and made me mad at you unnecessarily. Just don't be a dumbass and you'll be fine, guys. You have all of the money. You're fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying, not only, by the way, funny you mentioned that, not only do people not only does Netflix have all the money, I want to point this out to you real quick. A lot of people are trying to cancel their Netflix subscription because of the Major League Baseball thing and the new live sports that they're putting out there and the massive events that they're putting out there. Netflix, since the start of the plan with no ads, will now cost 150% more than it did in 2011. It's going through its second price hike in as many years, and it is now up to $26.99, and that was just kind of sprung on all of their subscribers. Listen, I don't know what else to say other than it's not going to get better. And you know what really sucks is I was a big believer in cutting the cord and moving forward. And you know what? A part of me thought, yeah, we'll finally get back at these big old conglomerates. And all we did was make more conglomerates to kind of bitch us around and slap us across the face. Dude, I am not going to lie to you, pretty pissed off about where I thought it was going to go and where it ended up going.
I was on Reddit last night because I am a giant nerd. So I'm on Reddit last night and I was cruising through some of the MLB subreddits and just, it's the first couple of opening days and I've seen a bunch. So I'm looking through and reading news, catching up on who's doing what, whatever. And somebody posted a question, or I guess a statement, where they were addressing all of the different things that if you wanted to watch, even just pick a team, one team, mine, the Atlanta Braves, whatever. If you wanted to watch some of these teams, in order to watch them, you've got to have like 5 different platforms that you're giving money to, right? You got to have Peacock, you got to have Netflix, you got to have Amazon Prime, you got to have MLB, you got to have this. Some of them have their own regional network. You got to have the regional net. You got to have whatever.
Oh God.
And
it's one thing after another.
It's unbelievable. Like I don't get how it is that these people don't realize, Deck, if there was one spot that I could just give a bunch of money and have all the games guaranteed, no blackouts, I give them to them. I live in Greenville, South Carolina. I am 2 hours and 24 minutes exactly from my driveway to the closest parking lot at the Battery just outside of Atlanta. 2.5 hours. Guys, I can't make a Tuesday afternoon game at 1:30. Why the F am I blacked out at Tuesday? Right? That's what I'm saying, right? So what they've done, and I don't know if they realize this, and I don't know how much trouble I can get in for this. I don't so particularly give a shit. There are these websites on the internet that you can go to and click 2 buttons. and just watch the game for free on the internet. And they're driving more people. Not me. I would never. I would never.
No,
Sorry.
not
I
Rob
always
Brown.
do it with the express written consent of Major League Baseball. I would never. But I'm saying some people who were frustrated by a 1:30 Tuesday game being blacked out 2.5 hours away from the stadium theoretically might possible start going to these websites to pirate those games because you're doing too much. Just stop. Just put all the games in one place and let us watch baseball. Why do we insist on making it so friggin' hard to watch baseball games? Why?
I mean, money! The answer's always money! We need more money! I don't know what to say other than it drives me absolutely nuts. You're not wrong on anything that you're saying right here, Rob Brown. And yeah, it drives me insane. I'm in Santa Monica, California. The one thing I can't get over here are Dodger games because I'm not a Spectrum user. So now I actually got to figure out how I'm going to catch all these Dodger games this season. Do I have to go down to the bar for every Dodger game? Your boy's going to have a drinking problem. I can't do that. So we got to figure out other ways for me to watch the Dodgers, whether it's I find the subscription somehow that I can get it, even though I'm a YouTube TV guy. So, and I don't think I can't watch Dodger games on YouTube TV. So this is going to be, tricky, but at least I get Padre games. Listen, I do get all of the packages, but like it happened to me yesterday. I wanted to watch the Angel game. I'm watching on the MLB app. I'm watching MLB Big Inning, which I absolutely love. And then I'm like, oh, the Angel game's on. I try to flip over to that. I can't because I don't have a FanDuel TV subscription. Where did FanDuel TV come from? I need a subscription. I don't even know if I need a subscription to that. And I hate that I have to do the research, but I don't give a shit about the Angels enough to do any of said research, so I'm fine.
Yeah, I listen, in a league that allows Artie Moreno to continue to be an owner, it makes zero shock to me that they would be like, yeah, no, we are entirely fine if you decide that you want to make it a raging pain in the ass for people to be able to follow their favorite baseball team in order to get another dollar out of them. Like it's completely unsurprising. I have made the argument for a very long time because I know that baseball's popularity is fine. I know that people are still watching, but you hear the argument all the time of like, why is baseball not growing in fandom as quickly as other sports are? Here's the reality. I'm an NFL guy, and it's a different world because there's 32 teams, but they all only play for now 17. Yes, we're going to 18. Why? Because as Dex said, money, money, money. But if I'm an NFL fan, it's real easy for me to watch every game because at least 4 of them, 5 of them every week are being carried nationally, and the rest of them, I just go to the NFL website, go to NFL Plus, and I can watch them all. In market, out of market, no blackout. It's fine. I pay my, $109, whatever it is a year for the NFL ticket. I got them all at the crib. It ain't like that in baseball. And when you pile onto that, the fact that the price of tickets has been rising exponentially year after year. Now we have teams. I've been screaming from the roof. Again, I'll bring it back to me because I'm a selfish asshole. What do you want? But I'm a Braves guy. The Braves turned in not terribly long ago, Deck, to a publicly traded company with a board of governors, a board of commissioners. Well, what happens when there is a fiduciary interest for a team to raise profits? They cut expenses. It's just obligatory. There is a large part of me, as much as I busted up Alex Anthopoulos early, Deck, there's a large part of me that goes, I genuinely wonder how shoestrung Alex Anthopoulos was in personnel moves, because now there's a board, there's a group of people whose only interest, it's not in winning the World Series. Their only interest is how do we make the Braves worth more money so we make more money. And I gotta wonder if there wasn't a point when Anthopoulos said, hey, we can go put in for the name your starting pitcher here sweepstakes, and that board went, yeah, but we'd have to give that guy 3 years and $100 million, and then we don't want to spend that money. And the problem, Deck, is that is a reality. Like, that's a strong possibility of why Alex Anthopoulos, a guy that 5 years ago was the GM of the league, forever and always, now can't make a move. I wonder if it's because he got told no, that we don't want to put that much money on the table. But that's just a reality across all 30 teams. It's just, how do they get more money out of it? And unfortunately, and I guess this is really where, for me, the conversation kind of concludes, buddy, we keep forking over the money. Like, I don't expect them to act any differently, because as much as it pisses me off, it also works.
Yes, it does. I'm paying for these packages, man. I'm finding them. I have no choice. Hell, my job actually depends on it, sadly. So I need it. Anyways, let's get over to some quick hitters, my guy. Question number 1. If you could be on any game show, Rob Brown, what game show would that be?
It's a really good one. The answer I want to jump to. I want to jump to Jeopardy. I in my little group, I'm kind of the random trivia nerd, right? Like, any of the boys go play bar trivia, they call me to go play with them. I'm kind of the random trivia nerd. But I also know that I am, and I believe the scientific term for it is a gigantic dumbass. Like, sure, random trivia, but when you go on the people on there, they're actually really smart people. So I don't think that's the word. Wheel of Fortune, I feel like I'd be okay at Wheel of Fortune. It's more processing and thinking. But I got to tell you, man, as much as there's a bunch of young dudes with six packs on it, I think I could give a run at Survivor still. I really do. I think I could give a run at Survivor. Yeah, because look, I grew up a Boy Scout. I grew up in the country. I grew up with the dad and the uncles, and we were camping every weekend. And like, you didn't take food out. You caught your own fish to put over the fire that you built with your own hands, whatever. I think I'd make it on Survivor, to be honest with you.
Okay, so I was going to say beforehand, because I talked about it earlier, how much I love the Traders, and yeah, the Traders would be absolutely great to be on. I think I would have so much fun being a trader, or even a faithful might be a lot of fun. But, dude, I was playing Jeopardy last night at home, well, specifically Celebrity Jeopardy, which is far easier. And I was actually kind of wiping the floor with everything, with the exception of a couple of answers that I was a little off on. But I was, as I was playing it, I realized this: I wouldn't be good at Jeopardy at all. And I'll tell you why. I cannot. It's the timing aspect of it, and no, it's not the buzzer. It's the combination of having the question read to me and having it written on a board. I'm reading it, but usually he's asking it quicker than I'm reading it, and I can't like take in the information that quickly and get out the buzzer in that fast. I need to like sit for it, think, got it, done. If every question was Final Jeopardy, you bet your ass I'm wiping the floor of all you bitches. But the timing aspect is really going to screw me up. So the answer is The Price is Right, baby. The price is always right, Bob.
Price is Right is good. I would go with a couple of things. One, I've always felt like they fudged the numbers on the Showcase Showdown just a little bit to make it a little more interesting, right? Like, number one, you got to get lucky just to get your name called out of the audience, right? Now, if you're saying the assumption is if that's the show you pick, you go straight to the podium, that's great. I've never won a damn thing in my life via random draw. So, like, I'm not making it out of the audience, and I know that, which would kill me, dude. Like, the reason I would never go to a showing is because I'd get myself all ramped up, ready to compete. I'd be Googling the price of everything that exists anywhere ever to be ready for that. And then the show would end, and I'd never make it out of the audience.
Well, that's why you got to get lucky and be the guy that picked Plinko. Plinko is just pure luck of the draw, baby. That's just do the gods want you to have money or not shit?
Well, based on my life right now, the answer is not shit.
Okay, so don't play Plinko and just do your fucking research. All right. The 999 challenge has officially made it to Citi Field, my guy. They have made a full-on box of 9 hot dogs, 9 beers that you can take to your seat. Buddy, can you do the New York Mets Citi Field 999 challenge?
Yes, Deck, I can. Do you know what? Do you want to know why? Because
I would love to know why.
Because all these teams doing them are bullshit. because they're doing third hot dog, like a third of a hot dog. I need you to know, and I mean this. I saw the one that the Giants put out, and I was ready to get in my car and haul my fat ass across the country to San Francisco to dress somebody down face to face, because you're not doing the $9.99. You're doing 9 half hot dogs, third hot dogs. Then you're pouring 1 tall boy beer into 9 shot glasses. Kiss my ass. That's not a $9.99. That's at best a $3.19, and there's no pride in that. I need you to know, great citizens of America, if you go to a ballpark and you drop $65 on one of these half-ass bullshit not $9.99s, I don't want to see you bragging about it, because you didn't do a damn thing. You didn't do it. You accomplished nothing. All you did was make yourself a little bit full for no reason. If you're going to do the $9.99, do it. Do it. Go get 9 dogs. I've done it. I've done it at a Greenville Drive game right here in my back hometown. It sucks. It physically hurts, but at least I can say I'm a man and I did it. All right. Nothing. Right. There's a term going around on the internet right now, Cody Decker, called enshittification. And what that term means, all right, enshittification means this is a relentless reality in America. Every time that we latch onto and love something. And last year was the year of the 999. You and I, when we did our
we almost did it on the show. We were talking about it for a while. We never got to do it.
All the time. We love the 999. And in this country, whenever we fall in love with something, a bunch of sleazy lowlives in suits and ties grab onto it with their grubby little hands, and they try to wring the fun out of it for profit. And it's absolutely horrifying. It's offensive is what it is. And so you got these ball clubs, and they go, well, let's do a 999. But we don't want to give our fans 9 12-ounce beers to drink, so we're going to give them 1 16-ounce poured into 12 cup or into 9 cups. No, screw you, dude. Stop taking the fun out of stuff. If you want fans to do the 999, then give them 9 beers and take the risk that they don't fall off the top of the left field bleachers. But if you don't want to do that, then don't call it the 999. And you, America, if you go to a ballpark and if you hand over $70 or $80 or $90 to do this, I want you to know, I do not recognize your success, because you didn't do it. You did a 319, and that's bullshit, man.
Rob Brown, man of the people. All right, final question of the quick hitters, really quick here. Hugh Jackman reportedly, according to actor James Marsden, who is playing Cyclops in Doomsday, after he said he wasn't playing Cyclops in Doomsday, Hugh Jackman will not be reprising his role as Wolverine in Doomsday. Rob Brown, do you believe that, or is James Marsden full of shit?
First off, whatever I say next, I'm so glad to have James Marsden back as Cyclops. I'm so glad to have him back. I don't care. Yeah. Listen, I know there's one of 2 directions this goes, Deck. Direction A is they slowly reintroduce all the X-Men, and we are going to get the X-Men revamp that we have wanted and, dare I say, deserved for a very long time. Or number 2, the beginning of this is going to be Dr. Doom pitting the Avengers against the X-Men, and the X-Men are going to die, and it was going to be like, there's your fan service. Now we move on. I'm hoping it's the former, not the latter. But I don't believe James Marsden at all. I think because as much as I love him, and I'm so glad to have Ian McKellen back, and I'm glad to have Patrick Stewart back, and I'm glad to have the OG gang back. The reality is, you've still got to sell what this is to the non-comic book nerds amongst us, and the X-Men don't sell without Wolverine, man. Like, the X-Men don't sell without Wolvie. Now, I don't necessarily know that means that Wolverine will be in it for a long time. I think there's a very good chance that, based on, because I do think they are going to connect it, maybe not lean on it, but I think there will be the Deadpool 3 Deadpool and Wolvie connection. Like, I think those events will
There's got to
matter
be
in
something. There's got to be something. At
Right.
least a nod to it of some kind.
Correct. So here's
Yeah.
what I think you get. What I think you get is because of the premise of that Wolverine in that movie, which was he let the X-Men die in his universe, he let his world die, and it was a redemption arc. The full redemption arc ends with what? Wolverine sacrificing himself for the greater good in the next round. So I do think, but I'll tell you what I honestly think we're going to end up with. I think we're going to end up with a Wolverine sacrifice early in the movie to make way for X-23 to step in and be the new Wolverine of the X-Men. I think Daphne Keane comes back into this because she has been incredible as X-23. I think she shows back up and takes over the role of Wolverine. The bigger question I would have is not because I think we're getting Hugh Jackman. The question I would have, Deck, is how much, if any, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool do we get in the new Marvel universe?
Oh, in the new Marvel, we're gonna get something at some point. I just don't know what it's. I mean, we're gonna get a Deadpool 4. My question is like, how much sway does Ryan Reynolds have right now? Because I think his dream would be to have a Deadpool Spider-Man movie. I honestly don't know if I want that. I'd just rather Deadpool kind of keep doing his own thing, cutting over into everything, because that's the kind of character of Deadpool is. Deadpool is that super meta character where you can play with all of these things and those other characters can play back. I don't think it works if Deadpool is in their universe playing with that same type of motif. I don't think it works the same way.
I don't disagree. The problem you have is now we've had so many references, so many crossovers. And if you want now, maybe they don't, maybe there really is no Hugh Jackman in this. But we already saw the post-credit scene that made it very clear whether he is playing the same parody, goofy, over-the-top version of Gambit or not, or they're going to bring a more.
But he's in it.
Dark.
You're not wrong.
Right.
Listen, you're not wrong. That alone is a reference to Deadpool 3.
So that's my question. Even if there is some reason why in the world of, because also keep in mind, and if you did not watch the Loki series, go watch it. It's incredible. But now we have Loki, God of Stories, holding the timelines together inside the TVA. And we now know that all the timelines have started to cross and merge over. In fact, to me, it really only makes sense because we know the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom are coming from an alternate timeline or universe or whatever into 616 or wherever we're based now. So there's all these crossovers, which leads me to ask the question, how do you have all these other crossovers, but Deadpool's universe is over here and separate when we had Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in it? Granted, Universal Hop, but that's our Wolverine. I think you get a Wolvie sacrifice. I think Daphne Keane takes over as the Wolverine of the new X-Men. And I think you're going to get probably a very loose on the outskirts Deadpool interaction in this, though I do not think he will get like significant screen time.
I look forward to seeing it. I just don't know. Like, how about this? If I had my choice between getting Wolverine and getting like all of these X-Men things more into this movie or getting more Loki into this movie, I am taking Loki. I just love everything about what they did with that character and going forward. But neither here nor there. Let's get back over to sports really quickly and just touch on it real quick. Rob Brown, how is your March Madness bracket looking, bro?
Can I tell you a dirty little secret, Cody Decker?
You new one this year?
I mean, the millions and millions of big Decker fans that are watching right now. This year was the first year in 17 plus years that I was not actively hosting a radio show when March kicked off. I didn't fill one out this year for the first time in I would say at least 20 years. I didn't fill out a bracket. Why? Because for the first time, I genuinely wanted to sit back and enjoy the tournament as a casual. I wanted the buzzer beaters, and I wanted the upsets, and I wanted the chaos, and I wanted to not have my enjoyment experience ruined because, oh man, he just knocked out one of my Final Four teams. No, I want to see everybody else pissed off at the world because they got their Final Four team knocked off. I didn't fill one out this year. That being said, had I filled one out, I'd have had Arizona over Duke in the champion, or Arizona winning the championship. So I feel pretty good about what it would have been.
I do have Arizona in my bracket winning it, and I have them going up against Michigan State. Just for the record, there is only one bracket left in America that hasn't been busted with this crazy ass thing. By the way, 60% of all brackets were busted just in that TCU victory alone. So let's be real clear here. Like, there's one bracket left, and it is a young 14-year-old kid out of Pittsburgh. And he is the only bracket left. And is this kid a genius? No. He has been interviewed, and he said, I picked it all at random. I just kind of went from game to game, and I went with, like, the rankings, and I just kind of guessed which ones might upset. And he's just been right. Will he continue? Probably not, but it's a great story for now.
It's a great story. Listen, to be honest, I hope he gets it. Like, I hope that he becomes the first guy to overcome the what is it, 1 out of 92 trinquillion or whatever stupid made up number it is to get a perfect bracket. I hope he gets it. And I hope he gets it because one of these there are like things in the world that when people are like, hey, I want to talk, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about anybody's fantasy football team but my own. I don't care about your dreams. You want to know what I dreamed last night? No, I don't. I don't care what your dream was last night. It makes no impact. I don't care. And I don't care what your bracket was. I don't care how you did last night. I don't care how many Final Four, Elite Eight, Sweet 16 teams you have. I don't care. And to illustrate how much and why I don't care, I hope that the first perfect bracket in history goes to a 14-year-old Yinzer who doesn't know a damn thing about basketball, and he just guessed, because I know it is going to make the heads explode on a bunch of smart-ass know-it-alls who spend all this time every year going, well, I researched it, I got the numbers and the efficiency, No, you got beat by a 14-year-old kid from Philly or from Pittsburgh who doesn't give a shit about college basketball. That's why I hope he gets it.
Not even a kid from Philly, a kid from the fucking Berg, bro.
Yeah.
That's who beat all of you people. All right, let's get over to some shiggles, my man. All right, let's see. What are we shiggling on today? My man, here's my thing. This is like, listen, there's been like a lot of people because we just had the Olympic. I'm sorry. Well, yes, we did just have the Olympics, and everyone's like, "Oh, how dare these Olympians put out their political opinions as they wear a country on their chest and represent a country?" And then, of course, we got the Oscars. Like, oh my God, these damn artists. Where do they get the ball? Where do they get the knowledge and whatever to go out there and put out their political opinion? And, you know, a lot of people have that opinion, and that is their right to have said opinion. And it's interesting when I see people of that ilk go out and bitch about it, considering the fact that, like, for instance, Josh Duhamel the other day went out there and said that all actors shouldn't share their political beliefs. He said that, by the way, on the Megyn Kelly show. Also, actor Vince Vaughn went out there and said, I hate all of late night comedy. They have turned it all about politics. I can't believe how much they've made it all about politics, of which he said, by the way, on the Theo Vaughn podcast. These were not said ironically, by the way. Jesus Christ. Rob Brown, why are we surrounded by so many fucking idiots?
You know, here's what I found in years gone by. 90% of the time, when somebody says, oh, you shouldn't share your political opinions, or, oh, this is not, or I don't want to hear it, or whatever. 90% of the time, it's because their political opinion is one that they know is not very popular, and they know that they're going to have to stand up and defend that opinion or get railroaded for having the opinion without justification for holding that opinion. Like, I don't know how much further I need to go than saying somebody went on the Megyn Kelly show to talk about how they don't want to hear other people's politics. Well, then what are you doing? What are you, like, why? Look, I am one of the 72 people in America. I actually really do like it. I enjoy talking politics. In fact, I talk politics very regularly with a group of friends of mine from around here who are on the far opposite side of the political spectrum for me.
Yeah.
I am fine with talking politics as long as you can do a couple of things. Number one, you are willing to stand for the politics that you believe in. And number two, you are willing to accept a challenge to that position. And number three, when someone challenges you and overcomes your justification for holding a belief, you have the balls to say, I changed my mind. You're right. I changed my mind. I got new information. I don't know why it is we have put ourselves into this spot deck where people feel like changing your mind is a bad thing, right? Like we have this whole thing in politics. Oh, he's a flip-flopper. Oh, you mean he gained new information about the world and changed his philosophical stance based on that? No, that's good. That's what should happen. That's just how normal people should operate in the normal world. If you can do all that, I'll talk politics, whether we agree or disagree or nothing of the matter. What I get frustrated with is people who go, everybody else shouldn't talk their politics. No, dude, politics impact every bleeping thing that happens in this country. Somebody said on Twitter the other day, and I thought it was great. A lot of people don't do politics, but politics will do you. And I was like, that's such a great quote. That's a great quote. We should all talk politics, all of us, because it impacts at good times, bad times, up times, down times, doesn't matter. It all impacts every aspect of your life, which is why I don't get when somebody says, oh, I don't like to talk politics. What it sounds to me in my head is I have my beliefs and thoughts, but I don't really want to have to think about them all that
or
much.
challenge them
Or be challenged. Exactly.
Like I think an informed population is a good thing, and I don't like how uninformed we are. So yes, that is a problem for me. What are you shiggling on, my guy?
You know, I kicked around where I wanted to go and talk about this. I got to go back to this 999 thing. It's bullshit, dude. Like, what are we doing? Stop. Like, it is so infuriating. Like, I'm genuinely mad. Like, Decker, you know, and I'll pull back the curtain on old Rob Brown here for just a second. I am loud and boisterous, and I exaggerate a lot for the sake of making a point on the radio. I will sometimes yell and scream, but I'm not really angry. I'm just kind of like trying to drive a point home. No, I'm genuinely pissed off about this. I'm genuinely mad, and I'm mad because the 999 thing was such like a big part of baseball that we all genuinely loved. And what I have realized is that for whatever reason, we have created this atmosphere where we can't have fun things anymore. As soon as we collect, everybody in America was all team 999 last year. All of us. It was like one of the great unifying forces of our day. We were all talking, let's go to the ballpark. Let's 999. Come to the house. I'm going to grill up 97 hot dogs. Let's do it. And then as soon as people were like, oh, they're enjoying that? Let's shit all over it. They're enjoying that? Let's ruin it. Why do we keep letting this happen? Stop trying to nickel and dime. It's 9 hot dogs and 9 beers, people. Like, just charge us what it costs and let us go. Stop. Why do we have to ruin everything?
Because honestly, if you gave that to the masses, you'd have no cars would be able to leave the parking lot legally.
Then don't do it in the stadium. Then don't do it. It's not for you. If you can't do it, listen, there's a bar right around the corner from me that I go watch daytime baseball. It's called Hall of Fame. It's a great little bar. Wonderful bar. They got an outside patio. It is ringed with like 60-inch TVs. It's a great spot because all my boys, my Braves fans, my Marlins fans, my Red Sox fans, we can all meet there and everybody can have their game on a TV. And you know what? They told us once, no, you guys can't drink 9 damn beers in a baseball game here. You're not allowed to do it, okay? If they won't do that, then MLB parks just don't do it. But stop ruining things for no good reason.
Okay, well, Rob Brown, it's been a phenomenal show. What do you say we just go ahead and kick back and, reflect? All right, my guy, here's what I'm reflecting on. I owe Major League Baseball and the audience and anyone that has watched me talk about this in the past a true apology. and I want to apologize to you specifically, ABS challenge system. I thought this was stupid. I thought this was the dumbest fucking thing ever. I was pissed that we were doing it. I felt like my intelligence was being insulted because you were telling me right there, and you're telling actually the whole audience, that you can get every single call behind the plate completely right, and we're not doing it for reasons. Well, the real reason is because it couldn't be sponsored by T-Mobile at the time, the way the ABS challenge system is sponsored by T-Mobile. That being said, I fucking love it. I actually love it. I love the strategy that is actually being invoked in it. You're watching players step out of the box, legitimately questioning whether or not they should challenge a pitch. And they only have so much amount of time that they can do it. They can't consult with their team. They can't consult with anybody else. They have to make it right on the spot. And they're making that decision, and we're watching that challenge being taken away from guys, which, make no mistake, will affect baseball games down the road. Those old heads, you don't like that strategies being taken out of the game? Well, here you go, bitches. Here's some fucking strategy. And you know what? As of right now, I fucking love it.
Just put it in and let's do the balls and strikes and move
but
on.
It's like, kind of fun. I did kind of like it.
Yeah, but Dak, here's the problem. It's kind of fun is the exact same argument that the human element people make. It's not a good argument. I'm sorry. If it's not strategy. A good argument, if it's not a good argument when they make it, Dak, then it's not a good argument when we make it.
I'm not saying it's a good argument. I'm saying I kind of like it. And you know what? I have no doubt in 2 weeks, I might completely change my mind. But yesterday when I had a challenge call and I saw a guy get strucken out on a challenge pitch, I kind of yelled, fuck yeah!
I, for the record, I get what you're saying. As is evidenced by the majority of my life from anyone who knows me. I also like to regularly participate in events that are terrible ideas, but really fun. Like, it's my whole strategy. It's not a good one, but I do it all the time. And for the record, as far as the strategy part, again, I actually agree with you. In fact, I was watching, I forget what game I was watching last night, but there was a conversation where a 9-hole hitter took a strike that I thought was outside. The guy's up top, outside, and he pulls back, and you could see him like think about it. And then you could see him decide not to do the challenge. And they're like, oh, it looked like he was going to challenge. Why not? And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. 9-hole guy, there's 2 outs or 1 out. 9-hole guy is like a career 155 hitter. And your leadoff guy is like 3 for 4 on the day. So like you would rather him, if needed, have the challenge then blow your second challenge on a career 155 guy who's probably going to get K'd up on the next pitch anyway if he gets it right. I get it. I'm good with all that. Or, Deck, and hear me out. And I know that you know this because you've been screaming this alongside me for the past 2 years. Just do every call and we don't have to do any of this shit. It's a strike or it's a ball, and we just light up a light on the scoreboard and move TF on.
I have said it for years. I agree with you, except I kind of like it.
I'm sure there's a bunch of folks out there hooked on meth who were like, I'll try it once. I kind of like it. It doesn't mean you should keep doing it, Decker.
But we're gonna, which is what those people on meth probably also said.
Look, nothing you're saying is wrong. So we're clear. Nothing you're saying is wrong. But I'm still going to say that is the same argument that the people who wanted to keep umpires in charge of everything said, and we said it was a bullshit argument when they said it. That doesn't mean we just get to turn around and use it now that it's kind of a little more the way we like it.
I am freely admitting I don't have a leg to fucking stand on. I am saying I kind of like it. And that's all. That's it. Not that I think it should be here forever. I don't know yet, but right now, I'm not mad.
I listen. I get it. I get it. You're right about all of it, but also, It works. Just do the thing. Just do the thing all the time. Like, just do the thing all the time. It's going to make baseball games faster. We're at 2.5 hours already. We can shorten it down to like 2:15 just by lighting up the light bulb.
We can't do that. No. We can't do that. Can't do that because if we get it any faster than this, we're not going to be able to do any 999 challenges, whether it's the regular one or whatever the shot glass one that we can get at the San Francisco Giants games.
The 319 challenge is such bullshit. I hate this. I'm so mad. I'm genuinely mad about it. Like, I'm honestly mad about it. All right. Unbelievable. Hey, I've been kicking around a couple of different places that I wanted to go for mine. And I've been watching because there's this discussion going on around the NBA about how do we stop teams from tanking. Now, before I get into that, I want to do a quick caveat. I want you all to know there are like 0 players in any league that you watch, love, and enjoy. 0 players who want to tank. None. Not enough. There's not a player who wants to tank. Players want to win. It'd be on the worst team in baseball, football, basketball. They want to win.
Yes.
It's not players that tank at all. The people who tank are owners and GMs, and then the ones that force their managers or coaches into tanking. Like, hey, we're going to let you tank this year to get a better pick next year, and you'll keep your job. Nobody from coaches down wants to tank. But owners do and GMs do. I firmly believe that because they're still getting paid either way, and now they get all the benefits of being a bottom-tier team when it comes to the draft. I have said this for years and years and years. And the reason I bring it up again is because I saw somebody I genuinely like, Katie Nolan, say this on her podcast the other day, and it got a bunch of traction. And I was like, I love Katie, and I'm glad somebody came around because I've been yelling this, and Decker will confirm I've been yelling this for years. And it always kind of came back to like the Angels, the Pirates, the 76ers, the teams that suck all the time.
Yeah.
But I threw out an idea about 5-6 years ago, and Nolan just threw it out, and I was glad to hear it so that somebody more important than famous than I said it. Deck, I think every league should have a 10-year window placed on a new owner of a team. Actually, all owners of a team. And every league should have a bottom tier acceptable win percentage. And after 10 years, if your win percentage is under whatever the marker is, you become obligated to sell the team. You're not allowed to own your team anymore. Now, I know you can't do that. It wouldn't work. Laws, rules, whatever, they're dumb. But if Artie Moreno, like if we put a clock down and we say your winning percentage must be over X percent on a rolling 10-year basis, right? Like the last 10 years in a row, your winning percentage must, and if you fall below that, you have to sell your team. Now, it does a couple of things. Number one, hey, if you have a year like the Braves had last year, where just everybody on the roster is on IL for 65-day stints over and over and over. All right, you had 1 year, but like fine. Like it's part of your average. You equal that out with the 2021 World Series win where you went out and won 99 games that year. But if over a 10-year average, your winning percentage drops below a certain mark, you got to go. Artie Moreno, you got to go. Pittsburgh Pirates, you got to go. Like those types of teams, if you want teams to not tank, if you want all 30 or 32 or whatever league we're talking about teams to bust their ass to be competitive, Deck, there is one way and one way only to guarantee that every team does everything they can to be competitive, and that is punish the owners if they don't. Soccer has promotion relegation. We're watching that pick up in the U.S. The USL, which is a second-level soccer league, has announced that they will be doing promotion relegation in their 4 or 5 leagues under that banner next year. That is to say, at the end of the year, if you are one of the best 4 teams in this league, you move up a league. And you know what happens when you move up a league? You get more money out of it. You get higher gates, you get more TV rights revenue, you get better advertising, yada, yada, yada. But if you're one of the bottom 4 teams, guess what happens? You drop down a league, and now you lose TV money, and you lose advertising, and you lose ticket sales and travel and all that.
I've always been the biggest fan of relegation that you can possibly
100%.
imagine. It's just actually getting a major league to do something of a semblance of that is
correct. I am the biggest supporter in the world of the USL because I firmly believe, and I've already been on the record for this, when the USL kicks up and they get their new high league and they do pro rel, I genuinely believe that within 15 years, it will be bigger than MLS. Why? Because in MLS, I got a bunch of trash teams that like they're like, hey, we're making our money. We don't care, right? Like we're good. We don't care. But if those trash MLS teams were at threat of losing their spot in a top league because they stink, they would try. Like it's like, oh, we can't do that now. And I think the flip side in the USL, I'm here in Greenville. We've got a team in USL League One. It's the third tier within this thing. But my team has made the playoffs 5 out of 6 years. My team has won a cup. They've been in the finals 3 times. If we got promoted up to USL League, whatever the next league up is, whenever they finish the thing, well, guess what? The owners of my Triumph, they're going to do what? They're going to bust their ass to put a great team together to try to get promoted. I know MLB, NBA, NFL, they're never going to do that because those owners, they have the power to decide whatever. But I do know that if we could force a 10-year rolling average win percentage requirement on them, you won't get relegated, Artie Moreno. You just got to straight up sell the team, take your $2 billion and F off into history and give the team to somebody who does want to win it. We'd all be better off for it. You're never going to solve tanking, people, until you punish the owners because nobody else matters.
I can't stress this enough. I actually love this idea. I flat out do. I just outside of a league that has like relegation baked into their league structure like the USL does, I don't see it ever happening because at the end of the day, these are hedge funds that own these teams now. These are conglomerates that own these teams now. It's they're buying these teams to either eventually sell because they're going to get some more assets out of it, such as say a newly funded stadium by a city or whatever. Like listen, I'm here right now in the city of Uniqlo Field. I remember when I was a young man, my dad used to say, son, let's get down to the 405 to the 10 freeway so we can get to downtown to Uniqlo Field so we can see Fernando Valenzuela. No, dude, it's just at the end of the day, everything's for sale when it comes to pro sports. If we haven't been proven that when it comes to our TV rights and our stadium naming rights and what have you.
Yeah, I mean, look, and this all kind of circles back around to what we started off with at the beginning of the show, which was why do I have to have 9 streaming services and 15 subscriptions to be able to know that I can watch any Braves game or whatever team game that I want to watch? And the answer is, as you said astutely and correctly, money. There is, and I don't know that we've hit. I don't think we have hit it. I don't know that we'll ever hit it, to be honest, because at the end of the day, Deck, we all love sports. We love sports.
Yes.
That's why sports talk radio exists because of how much so many people love sports.
I love me some sports, baby.
But I wonder where the breaking point is for fans. I wonder where the breaking point of that's it, guys. It's just too much, right? It's just too much. The NFL, 18 games is not a breaking point. We're all going to watch 18 games if you give us 18 games.
Yeah.
What I do wonder, is there a breaking point for the NFL? I've said this phrase for years. Every year, start of the season, I get some guy who calls my show and he goes, Rob Brown, I'm real disappointed because, I'd love to bring my wife and my 2 kids over to Atlanta or up to Charlotte to go watch a game, but I just can't afford it anymore. And I went, yeah, you know what sucks about that? Somebody can, and somebody will. The NFL does not care whose asses are in seats. They just care that asses are in seats. But there's a breaking point somewhere where it's not fun anymore. There's a breaking point somewhere where seeing a bunch of rich suit-wearing losers in the stadium doesn't bring the atmosphere of the New Orleans Superdome on Monday Night Football or Buffalo Bills fans power bombing each other through foldable, collapsible tables. Like, that's what makes it all so great. And I wonder where the breaking point is where those types of fans like that go, yeah, I think I break. I think I got to step away for a little bit. I don't think I can put any more money into this, especially when the economy is ass and everybody's losing their 401ks and the stock market is taking an absolute dump on us. And we got, war over there and recession over here.
It's not cheap, dude. It's just to be a sports fan in today's day and age. I mean, it's getting more and more and more expensive. And listen, it's almost like we watched it happen in youth sports, how youth sports just became big money business that just became more and more and more expensive. And now it's very difficult to put your kids to any semblance of like sports because you got to put them on all the club teams. And now that's turned into everything in pro sports, obviously, as everything trickled up to that direction and then some. I mean, it's It's dark, but you're right. I do wonder if there is a breaking point at some point for sports fans.
I don't know. I mean, listen, the answer is yes. For every sports fan, there is a breaking point. I've said for a very long time, you have fans, and we invest a few things. We invest our money, obviously, but we also invest our time. We invest our energy. We invest our emotion. Those are the things you invest when you become a sports fan. And all of those cost you something. When you pay money, it costs you money. When you pay with time, it costs you time you could be spending with your wife, or you could be spending on work, or you could be spending on any other hobby. When you put energy into it, I mean, at the end of the day, we only got so much we can spend every day. And when I decide at 7:15 tonight that I'm going to watch my Atlanta Braves begin their season of running genitalia first into a wall for no reason, but I'm going to invest it, I know I'm going to be exhausted from doing so, but it's a price I'm willing to pay for now. I don't know where the cutoff line is, where we collectively, or at least enough of us as fans collectively, say it's not worth the investment anymore. Like, I'll just check in at the end of the year and see if we made the playoffs or not, and the product goes down. What I do know is that every year that the enshittification of sports, of wringing every penny out of every product they can, we move closer in that direction. And the problem is, once we get to that point, it's kind of like the lockout of the late 90s in Major League Baseball. I was 13 years old and the biggest baseball fan in the world. Baseball was my passion, my pride, my love, my joy. I played baseball more than anything else. And when the lockout happened, Dick, I'll be real, I still love baseball, but I was never really the same fan. Now, granted, I was 13. Maybe I'd have felt differently if I was 31. But I was never the same baseball fan. I'm still not today the same baseball fan I was before that happened. What's the breaking point where the league that does that to itself and it really starts to fall off and suffer? And I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about the NBA, the NFL, the MLS, all of it. But like, the owners never get punished for their teams being shit. And if that is the case, where's the breaking point where enough fans go, I don't think I care anymore? Because I got to tell you, if we get to a spot where a quarter of the NBA is tanking at the All-Star break, what's the fun in watching for me anymore?
You're not wrong, dude. You're just flat out not wrong. And we will see how things go as more money is poured into this and more money is asked of the sports fan consumer. It is a fascinating world we're currently living in the sports landscape. But listen, Rob Brown, tell people where to find you. And of course, listen, you're the man. I love doing this with you. I love cutting it up with you. You will be back again for another Rob Brown Friday at some point, no doubt about it. Rob, you're a 3-time broadcaster of the year in your state, and still you're only doing better every single time I work with you, my guy.
Well, first off, Deck, I've already said yes, and we've already done the show, so you don't have to butter me up. Like, it's a yes every time, so I'm here. You guys can follow me on social media at The Rob Brown Show. I will let you know that we've got a couple of projects I'm going to be jumping on board here. I will be here with Cody Decker as often as he needs me, and I don't want to give any secrets out, but there's a very good chance you may very well soon hear me and Decker a little bit together, a little bit more routinely, working on that. I've got some other projects going on in the background. So across all the social media at The Rob Brown Show, you can find me there, and you can find me here the next time that Cody Decker is so desperate to have somebody else help out with a show that he calls me again.
I am always desperate to have Rob Brown on this show. What can I say? But most importantly, guys, enjoy your weekend. We'll be back here live at, it might be early in the morning on Monday. So stay focused on at Beadle and Decker on Instagram and possibly also on Twitter. We will make sure you guys are aware of what time the show starts. And it is going to be earlier on Monday, but it will be me and Michelle. And of course, Michelle back on Wednesday next week. We got a bunch of guests. Of course, Tyrone Johnson, of course, Keithy Rosario, and maybe if I can convince him, maybe another Rob Brown sighting. My guys, thank you so much for joining us. And most importantly, RIP